Sigmund Freud, 1856 to 1939, an Austrian psychologist, is considered the father of psychoanalysis. He lived during a tumultuous period in Europe: wars, economic crises, and profound shifts in the understanding of humanity. Before uttering this statement, Freud endured decades of opposition and ridicule from the academic establishment for his audacious theories, particularly his view that human behavior is governed by the unconscious and deep-seated impulses. The years of struggle he referred to were a time of isolation within the scientific community, being labeled a heretic and constantly having to defend his theories against fierce criticism. These very difficult periods became the wellspring of strength that shaped his monumental ideas, laying the foundation for modern psychology. When Freud said, "One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful," it was a profound self-reflection from a man who had traversed loneliness and failure, ultimately realizing the value of the journey over the destination. Have you ever pondered what compelled a man like Sigmund Freud, who dedicated his life to studying the human psyche, to utter such a gentle yet profound statement? Perhaps to distill such a saying, he must have endured extreme mental pressures, ostracized by colleagues, criticized by society, and ceaselessly grappling between ideals and solitude. Those years for Freud must have been a profoundly wounding journey. Yet in retrospect, he called them the most beautiful, for it is in suffering that one truly comprehends who they are. And what about you? Have you ever felt yourself in such years of struggle, misunderstood, weary, yet persistently forging ahead? Have you ever realized that perhaps the darkest days of today will, in time, become the most cherished memories of your life? Hereafter I shall recount a tale, so you may more clearly envision the profound meaning hidden within that utterance. Perchance, you will discover yourself somewhere within that odyssey. Philadelphia, 1976. A cold morning. Gray buildings shrouded in mist. The rhythmic thud of footsteps echoed on the pavement. It was Rocky Balboa, an unknown boxer, running through the still slumbering city. He had no opulent gym, no professional trainer, only old stone steps, worn-out shoes, and an indomitable will. By day, Rocky toiled at odd jobs to subsist, sometimes even collecting debts for petty thugs. His life was a monotonous cycle: training, failing, returning home, and continuing. But beneath that weary exterior burned the flame of one who had never abandoned his dream. Then one day destiny knocked. World champion Apollo Creed needed an opponent for a New Year's exhibition match, and for some reason he chose Rocky, an unknown amateur, simply because of the catchy name, the Italian Stallion. The entire city laughed, the press scoffed, but Rocky did not. He remained silent, gripped his gloves tightly, and embarked on the greatest battle of his life. From that day forth, each dawn was a test of will. He ran dozens of kilometers, pounded the punching bag until his hands bled, consumed raw eggs, collapsed on the training floor, and rose again. His small room, redolent with sweat and blood, became a sanctuary of resilience. No one believed he could win, not even himself, but he believed he could endure until the very end, and that was enough. Then, the day of the fight arrived. Lights blazed down on the ring. Cheers reverberated in his chest like sledgehammers. Rocky emerged, his face serene, but in his eyes a sea of fire. In the very first round, Apollo knocked him down. The crowd gasped, everything seemed to crumble, but then he struggled back to his feet, and he countered. A punch struck the champion's face, silencing the arena. No one laughed anymore. No one dared to scorn him. The entire fight was a battle of self-respect, each punch a declaration that he deserved to exist. As the final round concluded, Rocky staggered, eyes swollen, blood trickling from his lip, but he remained standing. He did not win on points, but he conquered himself. Years later, when the spotlight had faded, Rocky returned to the old stone steps where he had once trained every morning. The city was still bustling, people still hurried, but within him, everything grew still. He gazed at his scarred hands, a faint smile gracing his lips. It was the days that seemed the worst, that were truly the most beautiful. For he understood glory is but a fleeting moment, but the journey of striving to attain it is what truly makes us live. Sigmund Freud's utterance resonates with haunting power. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. Rocky is living proof that dreams are not bestowed but forged in blood, sweat, and solitude. We often cherish only victory, forgetting that it is the falls, the quiet mornings, the moments on the verge of surrender that truly shape the strong individuals we become today. Perhaps right now, you too are in your own round, struck down, scorned, and with no one believing in your ability to succeed. But remember, Rocky too was once an unknown, and perhaps the very days you are grappling with today, in retrospect, will be the most beautiful chapter in the journey you write with your own hands.